How's it going everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another Star Wars Battlefront 2 ranking video. And in this video, we're going to be re-ranking Battlefront 2's heroes from the worst to the best. Now yes, I did this when BB-8 and BB-9E came into the game a month ago, but a lot of you guys requested to see me re-rank the heroes, and you guys really made sure that I knew about it too. And I aim to please, so a lot has changed with the recent update, with some heroes getting complete overhauls. Now putting this together was honestly so difficult because in my opinion there's only 2 heroes in this game that I think are average, and the rest I think are great or better. So keep that in mind throughout this video. Some great heroes will be low, but they have to go somewhere, and these things are honestly getting harder to do as the hero roster overall is getting more solid across the board as time goes on. Now this is obviously just my opinion, nobody will 100% agree, and that's totally cool. Just go ahead and let me know down in the comments your favourite heroes in Battlefront 2, and keep an eye out for a blaster ranking video coming in the next few days. But now anyway, enough talk, let's dive right into this, and kickstarting off this video as the worst hero in Battlefront 2 in my opinion is BB-9E. Now I thought that I might have maybe jumped the gun putting BB-9E in last place the last time I ranked heroes, but giving him a good playthrough again, I just think he is easily the worst in the game. His one great ability that inflicts the most damage is also his biggest problem in my opinion. His shock spin ability sends people flying away from you when you're inflicting damage, and I think he should work a lot more like BB-8 with his cable spin. Then I think he might be much better, but for me, BB-9E is just the worst hero on Battlefront 2, easily. And moving on to the number 21 spot is Captain Phasma. Now Phasma goes along with BB-9E as one of the 2 heroes in Battlefront 2 that I think are not that good. But if you do love Phasma, then the power to you, that's great. But I still, after all this time, after all the staff reworks, I just do not like Phasma in this game. Her droid can help you out in a big way, but it requires a very different playstyle to most other heroes, and that playstyle definitely does not fit my own. So she's unique from that aspect, and I must give her credit for that, but for me, Phasma just is not my thing, and I do think she's there with BB-9E as the 2 worst heroes in the game. So quickly moving on to number 20, from this point on, all the heroes are amazing in my opinion, and I'm going to try and get through them as quickly as possible so this video doesn't drag out too long. So anyway, BB-8, he's so fun to use, his abilities are amazing, his cable spin is definitely my favourite thing about him, and it makes for some crazy multi-kills, and it's easy to clear out areas with it. I honestly really enjoy using BB-8, he's a very different hero, but he's also a very effective one if he's used right. And now moving on to number 19 is Finn. Now Finn is a one-trick pony. He is the very definition of it, but it doesn't mean he is bad because his Deadeye ability is ridiculous. I have always set my star cards up to just make Deadeye the sole focus, and it really does pay off with some crazy kill chains with the Deadeye active. Finn isn't necessarily well-rounded, but between his good blaster and his Deadeye, you can have a lot of fun and do some serious damage. And coming into the number 18 spot is Boba Fett. So Boba Fett is a weird one for me. Sometimes I think he is top tier, but sometimes I think he's mid to low tier. And right now that's where I'm kind of leaning towards. His concussion rocket did get a change in the latest update, but it doesn't really work properly, which kind of keeps him down a little bit. His mobility is his biggest upside, and his rocket barrage and EE3 are really fun to use, so Boba for me comes in at a solid number 18. And coming in at number 17 is Chewbacca. So Chewie has jumped up a couple places since last time. His bowcaster did get a rework in the latest update, and it works more like it did in The Force Awakens with that one single powerful shot. And they also changed the spread so it's more focused. So Chewie has gotten heaps better with this update. He is still slow and he is a huge target, but his bowcaster rework has upped him up a little bit, so he's definitely improved. His shock grenade and ground slam, they're awesome. Chewie is really just overall a really great hero for heroes versus villains, and an alright hero for Galactic Assault. And moving on to number 16 is Iden Versio, a very good hero across all game modes. Her droid stun and TL50 combo is as deadly as always, and the changes made to her pulse cannon in the latest update, yes, she actually got a change as well. Her pulse cannon is much more usable now, and her secondary fire spam, it's great for picking off infantry or going toe to toe with lightsaber heroes. Iden is honestly really good in this game, so don't be fooled by the low ranking because a good Iden player can make a headache for anyone. And moving on to the number 15 spot is Lando Calrissian. Now we all love us some Lando, and his sharpshot ability is still one of the best abilities in the entire game. His Disabler and X8 Night Sniper combination can prove deadly and is a good defense against lightsaber heroes. And Lando does tend to be pretty good across all game modes, which is very valuable. I would say that he's actually better in Galactic Assault though, because Lando can fall victim to lightsaber spam, but you've still got a chance like I said before because of his Disabler, so Lando is really good, he's really fun to use, and he's always a good choice. But moving on to number 14 is Leia. This is probably the one where most people wanted to see where I would place her. Now Leia has jumped up the rankings a lot. She was just about the worst hero in the game, and I think she was number 21 last time I'd done this, so she's gone up a lot. So she did get an ability overhaul in the latest update. Her flashbang was replaced with very powerful thermal detonators, and her squad shield was made so it heals you and your team when you're inside it. And her E11 got massively improved, it's much better now, so Leia went up a notch and a half in this latest update, and she is finally a really good hero now, and it kind of feels weird to say that because Leia was just about the worst hero in the game for a very long time, but now that is far from the case. And coming into number 13 now is Han Solo. So Han is an amazing blaster hero, his DL44 damage is ridiculous, and all three of his abilities are really good. His shoulder charge is a little bit clunky, but it does still get the job done. A lot of people probably would have Han up a little bit higher, and I totally understand why. Han's Dead Knight charge is one of the best abilities in the entire game, and I just wish that his sharpshooter ability had a little bit more mobility. So hopefully that is something that we see sometime soon. But Han, overall, he's a beast and arguably the best blaster hero to most people. But coming in at number 12 is General Grievous, the first lightsaber hero in these rankings. Now I normally really love Grievous, but lately I've felt like he has just either fallen behind with subtle tweaks, or other lightsaber heroes have just gotten better. And honestly, it's probably a combination of both. His stamina is pretty terrible. He's the only lightsaber hero with a block that's kind of pointless, but I get why it works the way it does. He isn't force sensitive, I know. And his hit detection on his abilities misses the mark sometimes, but even despite of all those problems, he's still a higher ranked hero because lightsaber heroes in this game, they just reign supreme. Now moving on, at the halfway point of the list at number 11 is Bossk. So Bossk is one of my personal favourites, and he has been since launch, and I love the fact that his Relby is a sniper and a shotgun in one. So he's good up close and he's good far away, so that covers him on a variety of maps. And all three of his abilities combine to clear out rooms with ease, and all of that on top with the fact that Bossk can literally heal from 1 health all the way to max without needing a kill. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's very fitting for the kind of hero he is. So Bossk is lower than I have had him in the past, but that's due to the constantly improving hero roster. And now moving on to number 10 is Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have really been enjoying Obi-Wan lately. What makes him so good is his stamina. If you utilize star cards, you can make Obi-Wan's stamina just absolutely ridiculous. You can sit there blocking all day or spamming all day if you want to. It's pretty insane. His all-out push is one of the better abilities in the game, and his mind trick, it's kind of meh, and his defensive rush is kind of clunky. But between his stamina and his push, they alone carry him above the others. Plus, you can spam hello there over and over again, and who doesn't want that? But now moving on, inside the top 10 at number 9 is Count Dooku. Dooku right now is working much better than he has in the past, at least in my opinion, and his duelist ability, it's honestly so underrated that it's crazy. It melts stamina so quickly and it rinses heroes in a second, it's just insane. Now combining that with his extra dodges and lightning stun, and you have yourself a very good lightsaber hero. I've never really been a big Dooku fan in Battlefront 2, but I've got to say, lately, I'm coming around to him. And I do think that he's in a really good place right now, and he's definitely right up there with lightsaber heroes. But quickly moving on now to number 8 is Darth Maul. Now Darth Maul is one of the most well-rounded heroes in Battlefront 2. He literally does not have a flaw. But he isn't OP at the same time, which is really strange. His lightsaber throw is amazing. His choke's hit detection, maybe if anything, that can be a little bit off sometimes. Like if he does have a flaw, that's probably the only thing. And his dashes make him extremely mobile and fun to play. You really cannot go wrong with Darth Maul. And of course, it's always worth spawning in as Darth Maul for some Duel of the Fates music. And now moving on to number 7 is Rey. So Rey has been one of my favorites since launch. She has insane wall hacks, a mind trick that some people just still cannot seem to learn how to deal with, and a dash strike that is pretty clunky, but is also really powerful at the same time. And that dash strike can make for some really satisfying multi-kills. And combine all of that with some of the best damage and lightsaber swing speed in the game, and you have a really good hero across the board. I think that Rey is one of the few heroes in the game that does not need any alterations from developers, and I hope she stays the same for the rest of this game's lifespan. But now coming in at number 6 is Kylo Ren. Now Kylo was crap for a long time, but in the past year he's crept into top tier hero territory. He's great in large scale and small scale modes. His frenzy is one of the best abilities in the entire game. His pull is decent enough, and his freeze is low-key one of the most devastating abilities in the game. Kylo is a lot of fun to play, and with some star card experimenting, you can turn him into a total monster. But now coming into the top 5, and a number 5 is Yoda. Now I am judging him by his size here, because his size is one of the reasons he is so good. The small hitbox combined with some potato aiming makes him so fun to play as. And the fact that he can constantly block what seems like literally everything that comes his way, even when Unleash is in cooldown, it just makes him ridiculous really. Not to mention his dashes can go through blocks, which, puts him above a lot of other heroes. And of course, his Unleash ability is one of the best abilities in the entire game. Both in terms of how effective it is and how cool it is, this little fella is easily one of the best heroes in Battlefront 2. But coming in at number 4 is actually Palpatine. Your boy Sheev has a very complex history in Battlefront 2, to put it lightly. But I think he is actually right where he should be at the moment. His chain lightning is just cheap multi-kills. His dark aura is a royal pain in the ass, and his electrocute ability is a stun ability, and that kind of speaks for itself. Now Palpatine's primary lightning is also a reason as to why he is so good. You just have to aim in the general direction of people and you can't really miss. And he of course can dash away from basically every hero in the game, so they can't catch him, so there's that too. All of that combined makes Palpatine easily one of the best heroes in Battlefront 2. But now moving on to number 3 is Luke Skywalker. Now Luke is a total beast in this game right now. His swing speed and lightsaber damage is just about the best in the entire game. His ability combinations make clearing out rooms really, honestly, stupidly easy. And he is equally as effective in both large scale and small scale modes. His hit detection with his abilities seem to have no issues at the moment, which is rare and of course does make him better. But Luke overall, just right now, he has no issues, he's all class, and I think he'd appear in the top 4 or 5 heroes in anyone's rankings. But the runner-up in this video at number 2 is actually Anakin Skywalker. Now, I have ranked Anakin at number 1 in every single hero ranking I've done since he came into the game. So this is a bit of a change up. But I just no longer think that he is the most OP hero, and I'll get into why when we discuss the number 1 spot. But demotion aside, Anakin is insane. His ability loop is arguably the best in the entire game, and he has a 4th ability. Not to mention it has the capability to clean out entire rooms with just the press of a button, which is just crazy. It's easy for people to say that he is the best hero in the game, and you'd be more than fair enough to think that. And I'm not going to lie, I had to do a lot of thinking before putting him at number 2 instead of number 1. But coming in as the best hero, or in this case villain in Battlefront 2, is Darth Vader. So I mean, if we do want to get technical, Anakin is still number 1 as Vader is Anakin, so yeah. But I have to say, I've been playing the crap out of Vader lately, and I've intentionally been using Vader and Anakin one after the other and kept alternating so I could get a firm grip on who I think is the best. Because let's be real, the best hero on Battlefront 2, it's a 2-horse race between Anakin and Vader. And yeah, given all this time with Vader, I just have to say, I think he's the best in the game at the moment. If you get stuck in his force choke, you're practically a goner. He can also have well over 1000 health with his focused raged active, and his lightsaber throw is just ridiculous and works really well in unison with his force choke. And I've got to say, it's about time someone deranked Anakin as the best hero on Battlefront 2, at least in my eyes. And judging from what I have seen lately, a lot of you guys actually feel that Vader is the top dog as well. And this time round, I actually agree. So Vader for me is the best of the 22 heroes in Battlefront 2. But that is of course just my opinion. Be sure to let me know yours down in the comments below. This list was just a bit of fun and it was just my opinion, so don't get too heated, let's keep it civil down in the comments. But this video has been super long already, so thank you all very much for tuning into the video. Be sure to drop a like if you did enjoy, as it does help get these videos out there, and if you haven't already, then absolutely feel free to subscribe to the channel for more Star Wars gaming content. But until next time, thank you all for dropping by, and I'll talk to you all in the next video, which will most likely be ranking Battlefront 2's blasters, so keep an eye out for that one. So until then, have a good one, and I'll talk to you all again real soon.